folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and FXTV. I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, being joined by the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard every Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. It's the Illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Starr. Rick, how's it shining tonight?
Shining pretty good on this Good Friday, Billy. How you doing?
Doing just, well, not only is it Good Friday, but it's also a good Friday Night Smackdown. And we're going to talk about Friday Night Smackdown for the week of March 29th, 2013. Now, we open up with The Rock. He's coming out to, it's basically story time with The Rock. Rock's talking about the origin of his catchphrase, kicking your candy ass. And I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, he starts going on and on more about, then he looks like he's going to start to cut a promo for his matchup at WrestleMania when he gets interrupted by someone that kind of shocked me. It's all laryngitis face himself, the former executive vice president of talent relations and the former general manager of Raw and SmackDown, John Laurinaitis. No, that was actually me because I couldn't talk anymore like that. But it comes out, and apparently he wants to be in The Rock's corner, and he figures if he's in The Rock's corner at WrestleMania, then The Rock will win. But he figures if he's not in the corner, then John Cena will win. And Rock proposed a business deal. They always said a business deal ends with a handshake. And no, you're not going to get a rock bottom, because I think they even said earlier in the promo, spoilers, there will be no rock bottom. And, they were right. There was no rock bottom, but a spine buster into the people's elbow. Laurinaitis, you cannot sell a bump anymore. You should not do it anymore, because when you did the spine buster bump, it just really looked really awkward and really rigid to me. But other than that, I think it was a hilarious and entertaining opening to Friday Night Smackdown. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5 on that one, because it brought the entertainment value and the crowd was into it. And opening matchup this week, Rick, we saw the Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett in a non-title match against Chris Jericho, with Wade Barrett's opponent, The Miz, on commentary. Talk about this match.
It was a good, pretty good match. We saw Y2J hit pretty much. It was a good match. We saw that Wade Barrett left out the ring for a second because he was distracted by The Miz. Gets back in, and of course, Jericho hits Wade Barrett with a code breaker. Then he gets the win. Of course, right after the match, Jericho grabs the mic, and then of course he sees that Fandango or Fanbingo was his name-os. Yeah, I know you love that one. So that his curtain was coming out, and said, "Hey, why don't you come on out and let's have the match right now rather than WrestleMania." And Fandango or whatever, Fanbingo, whatever you want to call him, does come out, does his little dance. Does he decide to come to the ring? Jericho invites him. Doesn't really happen. Comes out halfway, and it was just, bullshit. And the match itself and the post segment, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I'm gonna call it a typical heel thing for Fandango. That's one of the most common ways what a heel does to draw heat on himself. To kind of pretend to give the crowd what they want, which is a confrontation between Fandango and Jericho, and then immediately back out of it, getting the fans to hate you even more. So that's Fandango actually doing what he was supposed to be doing and bringing more heat on himself for his upcoming matchup with him and Jericho come at WrestleMania. Next up, we have...
Attention. Fandango has now been acquired by both the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Ticketmaster.
Okay, now that mysterious voice is gone, let's talk about the bench press challenge between Mark Henry and Ryback. I think there was you said there was a story you were talking about it earlier tonight during SmackDown about a kid last week that surpassed Mark Henry's powerlifting record.
Yes, I did see it. It's on my Facebook page, Facebook/Hardcore Wrestling Wrestling Radio. Yep. He did actually beat Mark Henry's legitimate world wrecking powerlifting record. I don't know what it is now. He's only like 25 years old. He's in college. If you ask me what his name is now, my life would,
Yeah.
you could shoot me. You'd have to shoot me dead, so I'm sorry. Maybe the mysterious voice could help me with that. Hello?
Well,
Mysterious voice? Are you there? No,
Um,
maybe not.
maybe it's the computer from Star Trek. You never know.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of hoping for, but it just wasn't there,
Now
with the little... What? See? There he is! Okay. You never know.
Yeah, you never know when that mysterious voice will pop his head out of the ground and say something. Polly, want a cracker? Anyway,
Not the fucking groundhog.
Mark, in this bench press challenge, the challenge was for most reps. I believe with the weight set, I think it was 250. If I'm not, am I mistaken in saying that with that Rick? I think it was 250, wasn't it? It's like 225 or 250.
I believe so.
Yeah, and it was for most reps. Mark Henry goes up to 54 reps, which was apparently was a record.
They only did 53 reps.
Oh, 53.
Yes.
Okay.
But the amount of weight, I don't know how much the weight was. Again, hold on. Let me just check my notes.
Well, while Rick is doing that,
it was 220 pounds. That is the reps.
Ken Patera could only do one.
Yeah. It was 220 pounds, and he lifted for 54 times. That's what Henry did.
now, one thing I want to ask you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, if you can kind of enlighten me a little bit, because it was kind of something that I was really confused on. What was the purpose of the smelling salts with Mark Henry before he started doing his reps for the bench press challenge? If you guys can.
He was trying to
He was
get
gonna
away
lift the bar, but then he got high.
I thought he was just trying to get away with a little bit of cocaine.
Well, anyway, next up we go to Ryback. Ryback's attempt to surpass Mark Henry's reps in the bench press challenge, and as he's nearing the completion, keep in mind there's supposed to be a no contact clause between Henry and Ryback, and if they make contact with each other, they first off have to hug and kiss, and then the matchup at WrestleMania will be banned. But as soon as Ryback gets close to coming close to matching Mark Henry's bench press challenge, Mark Henry grabs the barbell and starts thrusting it down towards the throat area of Ryback to the point where he was choking. They were finally able to get Mark Henry off of Ryback, and they actually had some EMTs looking at Ryback, and apparently Ryback is okay. So, but as far as this bench press challenge goes, I thought it was very entertaining, and like I said, I'm very interested to find out, again, the whole usage of the smelling salts. What purpose did it serve for Mark Henry in the bench press challenge? I know it might be sounding like an idiot to some people out there who are saying, why doesn't this guy know the true purpose of the smelling salts in the bench press challenge? Well, I don't. But
well, I think, to be honest with you, the smelling salt is just so he can get some breathing, so he can, because when you're pushing and you're breathing, you need to breathe, and you get, so, it's.
Well,
I don't know, so I'm guessing that's.
Well, like I said, if somebody out there knows, feel free to enlighten us in the comments section below. I mean, that would be a real help to us all. But next up, Rick, we had a.
More sexual chocolate needed to be infused.
Yeah.
That mystery voice is just really scaring me. Anyway, next up, Rick, we had a mixed tag match which saw one half of the tag team champions, Daniel Bryan, teamed up with Kaitlyn to take on Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. Talk about this match.
Well, there was other mixture on the outside, which is Big E Langston. I'm sorry for that racial slur, but I could have went out there. But anyway, Ziggler's, we're on a way that Ziggler took early control and with the shoulder block. Kaitlyn and Ailey tagged in, and AJ successfully hit some nice successful neck breakers. Bryan and Ziggler then tagged back in, and the ladies traded off. Langston tried to interfere, but was taken out by Kane, who was also on the outside. In the end, Kaitlyn speared AJ for the win, but the weird thing is usually whoever we see get the win, music played off, and that didn't really happen. We heard Daniel Bryan's music play. Interesting.
Your score?
The score, I have to give it a really good match. It was all really balanced out. I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5.
Rick, I wanna ask you this question. And I know it was something that we talked a little bit about during the SmackDown show tonight, but I wanted to ask you it here on the review and get your thoughts on it. I think you might have stepped out during the matchup. I'm not sure, but uh, what to me there's a very strong possibility. I don't know if WWE is doing this. From what I've heard, they're considering it, but they're well, remember the old tweaking thing that Mick Foley used to do when he was the executive shareholder over in TNA? There's a possibility of a tweak in the tag team title match to include Kaitlyn and AJ Lee, and the Divas title also being on the line in that match. What do you think of the possibility of that kind of a tweak to the match happening for WrestleMania?
You lost me for a second. I'm not. I don't follow. What do you mean there's a tweak?
I mean, a change to the match. I remember the original matchup of Team Hell No defending the titles against Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for WrestleMania.
Yes.
Well, a tweak as in a small change to the match. Team Hell No and Kaitlyn defending their titles against Dolph Ziggler, Big E Langston, and AJ Lee.
I don't know, because let's look what happened over with the TNA and their title. I think it was just I think they're gonna try to put it into I think they're gonna try to mix it just to make something new out of it, and it's not gonna work. And it's gonna be like, okay, it'll work for this one group. And what happens with that one group when there's no other groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody else. It's not gonna fit. They're gonna make, I think they should just, if they're gonna make it a tag team, they should have the tag team of Big E Langston and Dolph Ziggler. That's who it should be. Nobody else. Have AJ Lee and Kaitlyn have those two go off in separate. Bang. Have them do their thing, and they have all their titles, like different clans have their own different things, and then they all walk around with their separate titles. You know what I mean? Like, have AJ Lee have the Divas title, have Dolph and Big E have the tag team titles. Just have it be like that. And if something happens where Dolph cashes in the Money Bank, then fine, have him have both the tag teams and the world title.
Yeah, but what do you think?
I mean?
Yeah, but what do you think about the possibility of that happening, though? Do you think there's a possibility that it could happen? That the matchup
could happen.
change?
It would be a huge push, and you know what? I think that's what Dolph Ziggler needs to get over that hump to be a main eventer, and it'll be a big push for a while. Why not? He needs to get that push to become a main eventer, because right now he's a mid-carder. He's a strong mid-carder, but he's only a mid-carder, and become a main eventer. That is what he needs to have those titles. If you recall, for a while, The Miz did that, very similar. He did it with with Morrison. Miz and Morrison did it, but he only had a couple of mid-carder. He only had the two titles, the tag teams, and then he had, I think it was the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
And look how great he looked with all that
Miz
gold.
had the Divas title?
Not the Diva. Mystery voice, if you listen to what I said.
Anyway, let's get back to the review here. And speaking of main eventers, the person who's
I'd like to ask the mystery voice. The mystery voice. Do you agree with what I said, mystery voice? Do you think that if Dolph Ziggler got the world title and the tag titles, do you think he would help him become a main event status?
If he had the title, he'd already be main event status. Screw the tag titles. Give them to somebody that deserves them. Like the Usos.
Fair.
Or Road Scholars.
Oh, the
Goddamn Road Scholars.
The Usos? You mean the Usos who are already in jail? I forget which one. I forget it's Jumi or the other one. I just call them the Usos because it doesn't matter.
No, The Rock went to jail for doing a shit-ass story.
Well, apparently Mysterious Voice is getting kind of angry. Well, let's get back to the review here on for the Friday Night Smackdown. Speaking of main eventers, the guy who's involved in the main event for the World Heavyweight title was involved in this next match, as we saw the Great Khali, who was accompanied by Hornswoggle and Natalya, who looked lovely as ever, and I say that with all due respect, and the fact she is hot, taking on Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, and to me, Zeb Coulter kind of looks like a Keebler elf. I don't know why. For some reason, I just think he's a fudge packer. I don't know if anybody would take that in the wrong disregards, but I mean, it would all due respect that apparently Zeb Coulter likes to pack fudge. Anyway,
I secretly think Zeb Coulter's French because nobody has a handlebar or mustache like that apart from French people.
unless you're in a spaghetti western. Anyway, the matchup, the finish of the match came. Jack Swagger knocked Khali on the outside, and instead of getting him back in the ring, he put the Great Khali in the Patriot lock, which and of course they got counted out. And Hornswoggle tried to interfere on her friend's behalf, and he ended up getting thrown into the guardrail. And then Zeb Coulter was telling Swagger to break the ankle of Hornswoggle, and he was just doing it by stepping on the foot of poor little Hornswoggle. And then we hear Ricardo Rodriguez's voice start taunting Jack Swagger. Swagger says, you know what, here's the line, come cross it, I dare you. And he starts to gain their attention, and we kind of get the feeling, yeah, this is a setup, and boy howdy, we were really right on the money with that one. Alberto Del Rio comes out from the crowd, starts to put the cross arm breaker on Jack Swagger. Now, Zeb Coulter takes his grimy little fingers and starts to take them in the face of Alberto Del Rio, and then Ricardo comes up with a kidney shot via the crutch he had on Zeb Coulter, which was a wicked shot. I mean, I applaud Ricardo for such a very nice shot with that crutch. And then Del Rio took the crutch and waffled Jack Swagger with it. So, in essence, I think this was more about Del Rio's Swagger storyline more than anything involving Great Khali. Sad to say. Well, maybe not sad to say if you think about it in that sense. But it's almost, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5, just based on the post-match activity, because I thought it was, it served its purpose. It was very well done. It was very entertaining, as Rick and possibly the mysterious voice that's here with us during the review will attest to, that I was actually very entertained by the post-match activity involving Rodriguez and Del Rio and Swagger and Zeb Coulter. But go ahead.
The match itself, though, was pretty damn crap.
Yeah, the match was crap, but I agree that it's definitely pushing, as I think we all talked about before the review, is that it's definitely pushing Alberto Del Rio as a face, and that's what the WWE is definitely trying to do, and it's working.
Rick, the main event this week on Friday Night Smackdown saw the Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton taking on Team Rhodes Scholars. That's Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes, and another person who people might consider to be maybe an honorary third member of Team Rhodes Scholars, if you think about it in that sense, and the United States champion Antonio Cesaro, if he would drop the fucking yodeling act.
Yeah, this is a pretty great match. It was just, Sheamus tagged in, roughed up Cesaro a bit, and Big Show and Cody just kind of tagged in. This was just a really good match. Big Show was pretty much the dominant one. This was, it all started off with things just got crazy. Big Show gets in. He knocks out, I think if I'm not mistaken, he knocks out Cesaro.
Yes.
And then he throws in and pushes in. I forget who he threw in for the.
He threw Damian Sandow over to Randy Orton, and he got the RKO.
He may or may not have humped the ring post.
Thank you.
I feel bad for the ring post then.
Yeah, and then he gets Sheamus gets a hot tag, and then he bro kicks Cody for the win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did. And I think the main purpose of the main event was to push over Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton, based on the fact of their matchup coming with the Shield. Speaking of them, they decided to make an appearance in their usual fashion, coming through the crowd. But instead of Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton waiting for the Shield to come down from the crowd, they decided to take the fight to the Shield in the crowd. I must say, it was a very entertaining way to end Friday Night Smackdown. Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton got the upper hand. The Shield got the hell out of there. But man, a crowd fight, with these three, especially with their matchup coming up at WrestleMania, I think was a great way to push both teams over. And it's going to make for a very entertaining match come WrestleMania, Rick.
Yeah, I agree. This fight matches that's really going to make WrestleMania look great, and this match is That's gonna make WrestleMania look like shit. And this match I think could really make the match that's really gonna help WrestleMania. We've talked again about some matches that's gonna make some. I think the undercard's gonna look a lot better than the main event cards. Again, the 6-man tag between Big Show, Sheamus, and Orton, and the Shield, that could be a great match. I think also you and I talked as well as the mystery voice, talked about how Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger, that could even, which is an undercard, should be as a highlighted match. That could be even beat, one of the other bigger matches, which, as opposed to, The Rock and Cena, which could be shit.
Oh, your score on the main event?
I think for the match and as well as the post, I'm gonna have to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Overall score on Friday Night Smackdown from me is going to get a 4 out of 5. I love the opening with Rock and Laurinaitis. It was very entertaining. The matchup with Jericho and Wade Barrett I thought was very good, and I also like the little post-match thing with Jericho and Fan Dodge Durango, Fan Dumbo, Fan Dildo. The bench press challenge with Mark Henry and Ryback I thought really served its purpose. Daniel Bryan and Kaitlyn defeating Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. Man, when AJ Lee got in the ring, I never wanted to be a ring rope so bad in my life. Jack Swagger, Great Khali, I think was really used more for Swagger and Del Rio and what they were doing with him, Coulter, and Ricardo Rodriguez. And the main event served its purpose to put over Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton for their upcoming 6-man tag at WrestleMania, and it did a fantastic job. And Cesaro and Team Road Scholars looked really good together too. So that's why I kind of considered Antonio Cesaro to be like an honorary third member of Team Road Scholars. You never know. You never know in the WWE. Sometimes that you come up with something and you just hear it, and people run with it. You never know. But overall score from me, Rick, it's going to get a 4 out of 5 from me. What about you? What's your overall score and thoughts?
Yeah, I'd have to say this was a strong SmackDown, especially considering getting close to WrestleMania. There wasn't really a lot of matches here that I really can't say that I really had issues with. I'm going to just give it overall a 3.5 out of 5.
Does the mysterious voice have a final opinion on Friday Night Smackdown this week?
Isn't it interesting that a 3-hour live Raw is less entertaining than a 2-hour recorded SmackDown?
Yep.
I think a lot of the people that we've been hanging out with, especially have always said that Raw has been trying harder and harder and harder to fill that 1-hour gap, and they're filling it with shit.
Well, you know what? That could be the topic of another video for another video and another time. So, what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Friday Night Smackdown this week. Be sure you can put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video, guys. Rick stars over on Hardcore Wrestling Radio every Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Rick, what you got coming up this Wednesday or next Wednesday?
Well, this Wednesday we have a very special treat coming up. This Wednesday, Vinny the Guido and his director, Anthony Bruno, will be coming up for a special 2-hour show. They are both co-producing the documentary Wrestling with Disaster, and they will both be there at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. Be sure you be there.
That's blogtalkradio.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio next Wednesday, guys. Be sure you tune in for that very special interview. And also, don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFX TV Network. So for the illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Star, and wherever the mystery voice may be, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
Now confirmed for WrestleMania 30. Jack Swagger versus Brock Lesnar in an I Quit match. Zeb Coulter and Paul Heyman will be banned from ringside. Therefore, neither of them can say those words as they're not in their vocabulary. The match will finish at WrestleMania 38.
Stone Cold's. Stone Cold's. Stone Cold's. Stone Cold's. Spiritual speaking. Stone Cold's. Stone Cold's. I'm Haley. Ring Rose. Stoke Altars.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spirituals Medium. Stoke Altars.